Hey, and welcome back to Empowered with Faye. If you're seeing this, I know we're still friends. I know it's been a minute. I know it's been a while. Anyway, let's get to this video. So yesterday I came back from work. It was a Friday. I was tired. It was a long day. So I came back, took like a 1 hour break. I think it was 2 hours actually. Had some food, I refreshed, and then I had to sit again on my work desk and finish some projects that I had started on probably 4 or 5 days ago. So I told myself I want to be done by this particular day. So I was so exhausted, but I just had to stop thinking about rest at that moment and just think about finishing that task. Anyway, while I was doing all of that, and I'm thinking to myself, why is it that it feels like I'm always in the cycle of working, submitting, working, waking up, going to full-time job, coming back to doing projects and all of that. Why is it always like that? And I just thought to myself, I probably am not the only person who goes through that. If you're somebody who's very ambitious and doing many things at the same time, you're highly likely that you experience that as well. So I thought to myself, I need to find a way of regulating all of this. I need to find a balance. I need to find a healthy way of balancing all of this. Unfortunately, well, I don't know it's fortunately or unfortunately for me, all the things I'm working on, they are exciting for me. The adrenaline that comes with it, submitting this project, finishing all of that, also balancing that with a full-time job, for me, that keeps me going, right? But at the same time, now there's a thin line between being excited and, overstepping into doing things that affect now your health physically, mentally, and otherwise. So I just thought to myself, there has to be a point where you just have to stop, not really stop, but stop and reflect and look at, how am I going to regulate all of this without losing the balance, without losing all of the ambition at some point, and the resilience, and also making sure that I'm still healthy for myself. I sat down, I took my Notion digital journal, and I started writing points. So these points that I want to share with you today, I said to myself, I really want to be mindful of these things and incorporate them into my habits every single day, and just always remind myself that in as much as it's okay to be ambitious and do things and always be working, you can still find a balance between that and actually being, emotionally aware and being grounded in self-compassion. So I still want to maintain being feminine and soft, and also at the same time winning and achieving, if that makes sense. I think if you resonate with this, you'll understand the points I'm just about to share with you and why I think they're important. So I just thought maybe somebody might benefit, and then I came back again today to say, let me just record a quick YouTube video just for somebody who might find this helpful, but most importantly for myself, to hold myself accountable for these things, right? So I'll just be reading from my Notion journal. Right, so the first thing I think is important for me to always remember is that I want to anchor habits in identity, not hustling. So I don't want to just build habits to do more. Okay, waking up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, or taking a walk, or hiking. But I want to make sure that my habits are more aligned with who I am becoming. For example, I'm just going to use the example of waking up at 5 a.m. Instead of saying, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. because that's what everybody is doing. That seems like they know what they're doing with their lives, But I'm just going to say, I am becoming a woman who honors her mornings with clarity and intention. So when I wake up in the morning, whatever task I've set myself to do, whether it's meditation or a walk or journaling or reading or whatever thing that I'm doing in the morning, it's not just about the task, but I'm doing that because I'm honoring myself and my mornings. And I want to show that brings clarity and intention in what I'm doing. I'm intentional and I'm mindful and I'm fully aware of what I'm doing at that time. It's not something generic that everybody's doing. If you wake up at 4:30 and start doing this and that, no. I want to make sure that my habits are being aligned with who I'm becoming than just being a hustler. and following what everybody else is doing. I believe that identity-led habits stick longer than just harshly driven habits, or rather routines. So I just want to make sure that I try to always remind myself of that. Now, the second thing I want to learn is that I want to balance ambition with nervous system care. So in my head, I'm just thinking that, Fezile, you cannot sustain goals in a very unhealthy body, a body that's always on survival mode. So I want to make sure that I find a way of pairing my stretch goals with a regulation ritual. I'm going to use an example. When I'm working with the STEM Empowerment Hub projects, most of the time I'm doing the technical stuff, working on the website and the background work that has to do with, bringing everything up on the tracking app and all of that. So it's a lot of technical stuff, and you need a lot of thinking and a lot of time. Also in my projects, in my research, maybe I'm coding or working something very hard or challenging at that time. So what I do, I always make sure I have my favorite drink. And my favorite drink at that time, that I find to be very soft and it reminds me of just being a girl, is my chai latte tea. So in as much as now mentally I am challenging myself with this technical stuff I'm working on the computer, sometimes it can be so frustrating because I'm trying to find the reason why this code is not running or why this thing is not uploading like it's supposed to. But sipping that chai latte tea is reminding me that actually I am regulating my emotions, my nervous system. I'm taking care of myself. In this challenging situation, I am still a girl. I'm still soft. I'm still aware of my emotions. I am still taking care of myself. I just want to complete this task. I know it's challenging right now, but it doesn't mean that I've neglected my nervous system. I am fully aware. I am fully present at this very moment. So the soft girl in me always deserves that safety. And being reminded of that, it's not just about achieving, solving that problem or running that code. I always want to remind myself that this soft girl in me deserves the safety, not just the achievement. Now, the next thing I want to remind myself is making boundaries a habit, not a reaction. So I think this is one thing I struggle with most of the time. We always talk about boundaries in terms of, people cutting off people because they are not nice to us and all of that. But in this context, I'm talking about boundaries with yourself, with yourself. So if you set aside time for, your me time, your off time, your no time, it's important to always remind myself, yourself as well, that these times are important because rest is a priority. Now, this is where the boundaries come in. So if I've said to myself, on Sunday, I'm going to go for a walk at this time. I don't care whether you have a task that you haven't completed or whatever. Do it. Just stick to that boundary. Okay. Making a boundary for me, I'm reminding myself again, must be a habit. It must not just be a reaction. So I just wrote a point there as well that resilient women don't just protect their time when they are burnt out. They proactively build in boundaries as part of their weekly planning. So I literally, in my planner, have days where I just say, this is my off day, I'm not doing anything. But sometimes I fail to stick to that boundary. So these are the things that I want to implement and try to be very intentional about. Right. Now, the last point that I just wrote here is tracking progress through emotional wins, not just my outputs. So I want to remind myself that progress isn't just submitting my progress report with my supervisor in my research. Progress is not just completing a task that is due at work. Progress is not just finishing the recording of, the webinar we're working on in STEM Empowerment Hub team. That is not just progress, but it's also about my emotional wins. Remember, I'm trying to make sure that I'm balancing my emotional awareness with my self-compassion and also my resilience and ambition. So I want to bring the feminine side more into my resilience and ambition. So I want to celebrate things like I was able to step out of that conversation that tended to be uncomfortable at work today. I was aware of my emotional triggers at that moment and I was able to step away. I'm going to celebrate that. Don't self-sabotage while doing that. Progress is emotional progress, emotional wins progress is also, I rested when it was time for me to rest. I'd set time to say, I'm going to work on this project or this task until 7 p.m. At 7 p.m., whether or not I've finished this, I'm going to rest. It's celebrating that you actually were able to stick to your word and just honor that boundary. So these are the things that I am trying to teach myself to sort of celebrate and track, so that I build more of, the self-compassion and just being mindful of my feminine side while being also ambitious. So I think it will resonate with you if you're also somebody like that. So I just thought that let me just sit down and share these things with you. And I'll also remind myself also once in a while to go and play this reading to myself. You said you're gonna do these things. Are you still doing these things? And yeah. So thank you. This is gonna be very short. That was it really. Just yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope that you do resonate with these 4 points, and I hope they are going to help you to balance your feminine side and your ambition and still be that girl who gets things done, but also be soft and as pink as you can be. I'm kidding. But anyway, thank you. Bye and see you in the next one.